one of them had done 16,500 views on a brand new channel in 5 days. And so is AI coming for your job? Yeah, I think it might be. I say to people all the time, humans can make bad music without AI. Once I was in hospital, and he looked at me and went, you're really lucky to be alive. And I was like, really? Yeah, most people don't survive this kind of accident. He said, make sure whatever you do is live your life, because you're not going to get another chance like this.
On this week's Engaging Marketeer podcast, I'm speaking to Alistair Dickinson, who has a CRM business and a SaaS product, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about AI, because what Alistair is also doing is he has created an AI pop star and an AI record label, and he is creating AI music, uploading it to YouTube, and actually about to monetize it and make money off it. So who will know the difference? Is it AI? Is it not? Is AI creativity actually creativity, or will AI come for our jobs? Let's talk to Alistair and find out what he thinks. When I was looking at what you do, one of the things that struck me as a little bit of a juxtaposition, doesn't really seem to fit, is that you've written a book on the essential guide for businesses on GDPR.
Yeah.
Yet you are also massively into AI and what AI can do.
Yeah.
Those two seem polar opposites. What was your thinking on going from one to the other?
My whole background and my whole sort of ethos in my business life is that I do swap and change. When I graduated from university, I wanted to be a data, cybersecurity, kind of GDPR, all of that kind of data protection type stuff. That was
all of our dreams when we graduated from university. It's a story, a tale as old as time.
Yeah, I used to. When I did that, I was a software engineer. That's what I graduated as. But it was the data thing that really kind of excited me. The problem back then, and we're going back a few years, is that the Data Protection Act was utterly rubbish.
Yes,
and it wasn't a job. So I kind of left it, and then when GDPR came along, it was still in there. It was still buzzing away, and then lots of people were trying to sell me things as a business owner, because we've got 2 SaaS platforms as well, and they were like, "Hey, Alistair, you need a brand new Whizzle-McFirkin because of GDPR. You have to buy, a new fridge because the data is going to. It was just constant bombardment of stuff. So I was like, I'm going to write some blogs, and the blogs turned into chapters, and the chapters turned into kind of bigger chapters, and then I thought this is a book. So it turned into a book, and then I self-published it because I thought, yeah, actually I've never done that, so I should do that. That might be a thing. And then I ticked that box because I published a book. So yeah, that was kind of that episode in my life. I was like, I've now, I think, completed that piece.
So you never set out to write the book in the first place. It was purely just started writing blogs and thought, there's something a bit meatier here.
Yeah. And I was constantly being annoyed on a daily basis from people trying to sell me things I didn't need. And it was a bit like, what was it? When there's a sort of a phase, the millennium bug, something like that, and it's everybody's, you've got to, and it's, you don't. It's so I kind of wanted to get it down to facts, and then I started telling and teaching people that they didn't need to do all of the things for GDPR, and they didn't need to buy new computers and all of that kind of stuff. The AI thing, I've always been a software engineer. I've always been a product person. I've always built products, ever since I started in business, because I realized early on that if you sell your time, you can only sell it once.
Yeah.
I thought if I make a product, I can sell it multiple times, and I can just sit on the beach. It's never actually happened, but
You mean you never sat on the beach, or you never sold the product multiple times?
Oh no, we sold the product loads of times.
just didn't get to the beach.
Yeah, I just end up reinvesting it and making a new product. So with the technology business, we built 15, 16 products, sold them worldwide, built the business, the MyCRM business on that. We also have a SaaS platform, which is CRM. And when I started in the CRM space, CRM was actually a thing. Everybody should have a CRM system. But sales has changed so much. Sales is more now online. It's not a salesperson in a car going to meetings, managing his meetings, managing a territory and all of those kind of things. So that doesn't really happen anymore. So the need for CRM, I would say, has for smaller mid-sized businesses, a lot of the other applications that are now in play, your account system, your marketing systems all have an element of CRM. And the core bit for small business CRM, less and less businesses are actually having one. But we built lots of product because there was always an opportunity for add-on things.
Mm.
And one of the add-on things that we built was geospatial data to kind of understand where your customers are, but not just customers. It was like which products are selling in which area best, which data. We're going back to the data thing, but can I overlay lots of different colored pins to give me some analysis of what I'm doing in my sales? And that was great. And then in 20 that did quite well actually, that product. So in 2016 we decided to turn it into a platform, which was Maximize. And that's now a self-contained SaaS platform that we sell all over the world. And then we get into the AI thing, which I didn't want to get into. It was, well, I think was it October 22 when ChatGPT first kind of hit the headlines?
Was it back then? Our sales guy would know that.
Yeah,
bang on.
Yeah, I think it was around then, and I looked at it and thought, I don't want to get involved with that. I don't want another tech stack that I have to learn. And then by the January, I was well and truly in the rabbit hole, working like, what does this mean? What does this mean? They're saying it's going to write code, it's going to do this, it's going to do that. So I started.
It's going to make us all unemployed.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to come for your job. So I wanted to find out if that was true, if this was just hype, or if AI was like really going to change the world in the way we know it. Was it going to come after our jobs? Was it going to change the way we do business? And I started doing a podcast or a content channel for YouTube, which was called We Ask AI. And I kept the questioning. I didn't force the answer from AI. I was giving it what do you think type questions. Like,
right.
Can what do you think about changing education?
And so you weren't trying to lead it somewhere. You were asking it generally what its opinion was. Yeah.
I was trying to get an opinion from it, which we all know that like ChatGPT, especially 3 and 4, they're very much text matching. But some of the answers I was getting was like, this seems to be like nearly conscious, because it was like, oh, well, what we'll do, we'll get rid of all of the teachers and we'll create a learning plan for all of the children individually that matches to all of the children over the country. And I'm like, well, hang on a minute. It's like, okay. So I got further and further into it, and then I got asked to do some training. And as part of that sort of training course for small businesses, I thought, oh, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll create something that brings it all together. So music, video, imagery, the whole thing. So I created a pop star country pop star called Cassidy James. Got AI to create the image, got it create. I wrote the lyrics because I am a songwriter. So I generated the song, I generated some video kind of footage and put it out on YouTube, not to really get anything from YouTube, but just to use it in the training, say, hey, this is the kind of thing you can do. And
what can I ask? What did you use to generate the video from?
I know you've got a film background, haven't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
At the time, I generated the film content using Flux to Motion, Flux 1.1.
Right.
And it wasn't very good, but I didn't expect it to be good. I mean, I was just animating basically a picture, and the picture wasn't great either. And if you look back now at it and think, wow, okay, that was awful. But it was only a year ago that I did that. And I then did the training, and at the end of the training I went, and here's what you can create. Opened up the YouTube channel, and in about 5 days it had about 140 subscribers.
Right.
And thousands of views on these 3 or 4 videos that I'd created. I mean, one of them had done 16,500 views on a brand new channel in 5 days. And I was like,
Was
maybe
it listed on YouTube as being AI generated, or were you pretending it was a real?
No,
yeah,
no,
it was.
no. No, I marked all the videos as AI generated. I called it a digital artist. So I thought, oh, maybe there's actually something in this. Maybe there's a kind of opportunity. I mean, the watch time was something like 200 hours in 5 days. And if you've ever done YouTube and you've ever played around with YouTube, you know how difficult it is to get subscribers.
Yeah.
So I was like, So that started my kind of AI creation journey and doing more and more research into video, audio, and to see what other companies were doing, like the big platforms were actually doing in the background. I got onto the YouTube panel for creators, especially around AI, because I wanted to see what the plan was for YouTube. Because at the time, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, it's a fad. All the big platforms are going to stop you putting AI out. Spotify, YouTube, all of those kind of things." And then so I started, doing that kind of research because there's the hearsay, and then there's what actual companies are going to do. Now, YouTube are in the middle of doing a whole piece that self-generates AI videos for podcasts. And they're doing a whole piece for music videos, and you'll be able to just upload your music and it'll generate you a video. When it comes out, I don't know. I don't know when that's coming. Spotify have just launched, I think it was in August, Spotify for Authors, and they're taking AI read content, AI generated and AI read content in audiobooks. So if you kind of just take those two and think, hang on a minute, there's authors there's professional voiceover people that read these books to create audiobooks, and now AI audio is acceptable. Maybe this thing is coming for people's jobs. Maybe this is going to be bigger than I thought. So I kept on digging, and I've now actually decided, because I know nothing about the music industry and I'm not a performer in any way music wise. I thought, well, what I'll try and do then from my research is create a global record company that's based on AI. I know nothing about the music industry, so what I'm actually asking AI is, what do I need to do? So AI, I get AI to evaluate all of the YouTube channels that I've created and do all the metadata and all the tags for it. I use AI to generate all the video now. I'm just before I came on the call, actually, I've been testing VO3 from Google.
I had a go at that myself recently.
Yeah, and it's when that gets to say VO4, we're going to be in trouble. I've got the latest sort of version of Suno. I prefer Suno over the other one, but it's down to preference. And I've now got published 5 digital artists that I've created, all of different types of music, and they all have got albums on Spotify. And we've even created vinyl that a company uses AI to generate, or they've sped up the process of generating so that you can just print one vinyl record. So I've got a collection of vinyls that I've produced. And I'm doing that all from my desktop here in the Isle of Wight. And we've got listeners of the music in 140 countries.
Wow.
According to analytics, I can't prove that. And one of the channels is just about to monetize on YouTube in less than 10 months. And so is AI coming for your job? Yeah, I think it might be.
Well, it's interesting that you're monetizing that now, because Google announced recently it was taking monetization away from AI generated video, or 100% AI generated content. I believe specifically.
It is.
So is yours 100% AI generated, or have you found some way around that, or is it not noticed?
So where if you, like, say, take a song, if you took a song, if the AI writes the lyrics and the AI generates the song and the AI generates the video, then they're going to take it's just 100% AI. If I mean, it's easy to analyze that, we remaster the songs. We go through a whole process. It's not just a few buttons and ta-da. And I write all the lyrics. So, yeah, they may stop some of the channels, some of the videos, and it might not get some monetization, but the monetization on adverts is only one small piece because you still get memberships on your
Yeah.
YouTube channel, and you still get streaming revenue because Spotify aren't stopping. We've all seen the story of that band that hit millions and millions of listeners, over 1 million monthly listeners. It was an AI-based band, but no one's admitted to actually creating it. So we kind of all think that it was actually Spotify that created it.
See if it could get rid of all artists and keep all the money for itself.
Well, I mean, I think it was more of a warning to the sort of music industry that this is coming and it's real and people will listen to it, and they shouldn't just be kind of like, oh, it won't happen, we'll just sue everybody, because that's not going to work. You can't take music creativity and video creativity away from people.
Well, that's literally what I was about to bring up, actually. I know a chainsaw artist, sounds weird, a woodcarver locally called Simon O'Rourke, and he's taking part in a debate with other creatives about the use of AI within creative industries. And there's a big battle going on between creatives saying that AI cannot create. All AI can do is mimic. It can copy, it can be influenced by, but it needs source material in order for it to do something. So where do you stand on that? Will AI ever get to the point where it can actually create art?
So the way, if you kind of understand how the large language models are built, they're taught on everything that we've created already, right? And we all learn from each other. So all we've done is taught the AI what we know. So if you were going to learn how to paint, you would get a video, get a book, have some lessons, but someone else would teach you, right? That same theory, and it is theory, has been placed. So the machine that has learnt the metadata based on all of the material has generated learning or metadata to be able to do the things. So will it be able to create unique art? No, probably not. But do we ever actually create anything really unique? Because 90% of the time we copy each other. You take something and you enhance it.
I was just thinking that, because if you get 1,000 people go on a course to learn how to paint, one of them maybe actually genuinely be good at it.
Yeah.
Will have creativity. The rest of us are just going through the motions. We have no, it's really hard. I went to art school. It's bloody hard. I don't draw anymore because I don't enjoy it. It's just not something I like to do. Whereas there's a few people that are genuinely creative and brilliant. They're the ones that do it. So AI is just one entity. So will AI get to the point where it will be able to create art? Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Genuinely, hopefully not.
What do you call art?
Well, there is a definition of art, isn't it, which serves no purpose other than to be in of itself and to inspire and to I forget all the bollocks of it, but it's got to have no actual purpose.
Yeah.
So if it's a coffee table, for example, it is not art because it has a function. It's a difficult one.
It is. I mean, I've always been able to write songs, and I can write you a song within half an hour that's lyrically correct, that sounds good, and but I've written it. It's unique to me. But someone else could write that song, because all we're doing is using language. But I've never yet got AI to write a good song, and I do try. I give it all my lyrics and say, "Hey, learn from this." It just goes, "The flowers in the sunshine are in a pickup truck," and and you're like, well, what are you what are you doing?
That's a banger.
Yeah, it's then listening to some of the rubbish that's out there, it probably is actually. But a lot of people do get kind of some people get annoyed with me saying, "Oh, you're not an artist, you're not a musician." And I said, "No, but I'm a record company, and a lot of artists have writers for them.
Mm.
You know,
Of course, yeah.
you know, they don't sit down and write. They have 10, 15, 20 writers. I mean, the sort of music hit factories in Nashville are up in arms about this stuff because, you know, now anybody can produce a song. And that's the thing. I think that's what people are worried about, is that it allows many more people to be creative. You
Mm.
might not call it creative, but
Well, no,
actually make something.
I was literally going to pick up on that there as well, because every now and then there's AI fads that go around and everybody jumps on it and does the same thing. There was one a few months ago where everyone was creating toy versions of
Yeah,
themselves in
yeah,
boxes, but almost 99.99% of them were exactly the bloody same. It was the same box, it was the same accessories of a
yeah,
coffee cup and something else, because everybody was being really lazy with it. They were uploading a photo of themselves,
yeah,
make this into a toy of me, and AI would have been going, here's another one, right, punt
yeah,
it out, exactly the same, and they all share it as though they've got some sort of creative skill that
yeah.
they've done this. But it's not. So
No,
my thought on this is that AI doesn't help you be creative. It's
no,
not going to take creatives' jobs. It's a
no.
tool to help people do
This, yeah,
whatever they were
yeah,
going to do before a hell of a
yeah.
lot quicker.
Right.
So
So
if you're
you,
a talentless hack, it's going to help you be a talentless hack a lot quicker
yeah,
and
yeah,
to
yeah,
create more shit. If you're
yeah,
good at stuff, it's going to help you research better and
yeah.
do
And
things a lot faster.
I say to people all the time, you know, humans can make bad music without AI.
Yes.
You know,
Yes, they can.
and you can't see it on camera. Actually, I've got a couple of guitars in the background. I do play, but I couldn't perform, and so I do understand the structure of music. And you know, I've got a podcast studio which it's not doing anything at the moment. We're going to do a music community type thing for
Mm.
all of this, because as you say, a lot of people are like going to AI, write me a song about whatever.
Mm.
Then they lob it into something else and go, I've got a song now. And then they put it out and they get 12 views on YouTube. And you know,
Yeah.
you're like, I think you're kind of, you know, you need to put a bit more thought into that. So to me, it's a tool. I would have never, yeah, I don't have the time to, you know, learn how to record and sing properly. I don't have the access to a recording studio vocally. But I do have access to generate music and, you know, video through AI. So I can. I've never been happier, to be honest, having access to this,
Mm.
being able to create in the way I do. I mean, one of the projects we're doing is a vampire project,
Go on.
um, like vampires.
Oh, yeah.
I put a video out on LinkedIn the other day, which is all AI gen, but literally frame by frame, I had to go through it, you know, and sort of, no, I want it to look like this. I want it to do this. I want the camera angle to do this. I've not been to film school, but I knew what I wanted.
Mm.
And it's not perfect because, you know, it's not VO3 and, you know, it's a lower, I can't remember I think I probably used LTX for it, or LTX plus. And yeah, it tells the story of the song. It's about 8 minutes long. And I've got a friend that works in the sort of VFX or did work in the VFX space, and he always said about a year ago, he's like, oh, AI will never be able to generate video. It'll never be able to do this blah blah blah. And I sent it to him. So what do you think? And he went, yeah, it's getting interesting.
Mm.
You know, because the quality's getting better. Where will we be in 12 months? I don't know. You know, maybe 30-minute HD films will be possible, if you've got a story in your head.
Yeah,
But
'cause it's
that's
moving so fast, isn't it? It's moving
yeah.
so incredibly quick.
But that's kind of takes me on to the next thing. How do I use this to market my business? Because we go back and I've got these great SaaS platforms that generate me a bunch of money every month. And I was like, well, can I use this? Because to me, marketing, it's constantly about being different. You might agree, you might not agree. I don't mind. it's, it's like doing something different. You talk about the toy box. Everybody does a toy box. You know, it's like, okay, so can I create a mini series that is the office, the AI office behind one of our products, and make it a comedy sketch? Because it doesn't really need to be about the product anymore. It doesn't need to be, hey, this is a map. You can put a pin on a map. It does location. But if there was a funny skit, and I was testing the theory the other day, I wrote a couple of funny songs based on various nursery rhymes type things around maps. And yeah, we tripled our visit flow to the website in one day just by putting out some fun songs. And I was like, how does this is this marketing now? Can I get away with this?
Marketing's whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, but that's what I like testing. That's my kind of, I like, when people say to me, "Oh, you can't build a record company with AI, or you can't create a pop star with AI, or you can't do this," I'm like, hold my beer. Let's go and see if we can. Let's go and see what's possible. And there is lots of people that will go like, "Oh, that's not right. You can't do this." I mean, we got in the local paper and the comments were like, "Oh, you're taking jobs away from artists." I said, "No, I'm not." I said, "They can still go and write their own songs, perform on stage." I said, no guitarist is waking up in the morning going, "Oh, bloody hell. Alistair's creating Alistair's, creating an AI artist. That's mean I'll never be able to sing again."
Yeah. Yeah. Brian May's not losing any sleep over it, is he?
No,
No.
not at all.
Too preoccupied with the badges.
Yeah. And the thing is, people forget the music they like and the music that's in the charts and the that's 1% of how music that gets put out into the world. I mean, in 2022, before AI music was a thing, there was 37 million new tracks put out across Spotify and other streaming platforms.
Jesus.
Worldwide, not in the UK, obviously.
Yeah.
And you're like, 37 million, and you don't, you can have a quick dig on Spotify and you'll find a lot of rubbish that's not AI generated. It'll be some person in the garage making a noise on a drum kit, and they've put it on Spotify because they think it's great. That's fine, crack on. Because if that's your level of creativity, if that's what you want to do, get on with it. I wouldn't stop anybody wanting to do that.
And I suppose there's the angle as well, as you said, that is AI music any more or less music than what has been put out before? Because we have auto-tune for artists whose singing voices is not necessarily as good as they could be live, so we're not really hearing what they actually sound like. And of course, what was it, 30-odd years ago, we had Milli Vanilli, who wasn't even using their own voice. Yeah, it was lip-synced, and it was somebody else doing it. So we were all fooled by that, because they were very successful.
Yeah.
And nobody knew.
Yeah, you've got synthesizers, you've got drum machines. Where does that? It's like, oh, that's an AI voice. Well, are you adverse to drum machines? Because studios don't always use a drummer. They use loops, they use loop pedals and effects, and then it's all digital. All software, all music goes through a software rendering to get it to a point. Even if it's a great big mixing board. There's some software in the process. So if you look at Stock Aitken and Waterman, they generated a lot of those tracks and then just took artists and said, right, you now sing that. Because they all sound the same, either at the level of, different, if you kind of listen to the tempo, if you listen to Rick Astley and Kylie and Mel and Kim, you would think it was the same artist.
Yeah.
So where are we with, where are we going to be with AI? I do think it could take quite a lot of jobs if it's implemented. But humans are naturally lazy. Well, we are. I mean, look, I remember getting when the dot-com boom. You'd be about with the dot-com boom, would you?
I was, yeah.
And I was like super excited. Like 1998. I was still doing the Millennium Bug, but I was like 1998, sort of 1999. It was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. Everybody's going to shop online. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. You're going to have all of these things. And everybody to me was like, nah, it's never really going to happen. People won't buy online. Okay. Social media arrives in, what was it, 2004, 2005?
Oh, well, MySpace was before that.
Before that, yeah. But the Facebooks and the things.
Facebook was 2006, I think Facebook was officially launched to the public.
Yeah, it's taken nearly 20 years for people to kind of grasp social media. So I think it's going to be the next generation. I think it's not Gen Z. I think it's going to be Gen Alpha that kind of goes, AI is normal, like electricity is normal, like Wi-Fi is normal. I mean,
See,
we
I was going to say, I remember I was the web designer for Game back in 2000, and at the time, the Game website was considered just another one of the stores because it generated about the same as the stores at the time, and a lot of people in the head office were kind of a little bit condescending towards the media team that looked after the website, and we had a telephone ordering system, so people could phone up and place orders for games through a catalogue. And that was considered as important as the website. People are going to do that. Then there was the shopping channels on NTL and Sky Active. They were as important as the website. They just died an arse within about a year or two of launching. And obviously the website is far bigger than the vast majority of the stores put together now. It's the way it is. Stores are being shut around the whole country. Everything's online. Nobody was embracing it. Nobody was seeing it. We were all railing against it.
Yeah.
Same as we are with AI.
Same as we are with AI. Everybody's, can't do that. And then suddenly it'll be like, how do we manage without it? I think there's the few of us. I mean, I think it's about 12% of the sort of working population has embraced AI. I think ChatGPT has 3 million paying users worldwide.
Is that all?
So it's not huge, I don't think. You have to check that figure.
Tiny.
I don't. But it's not been charging for that long. I mean, it's got something like 700 million registered users, but people that are really kind of like, I'm using this full on.
I mean, we use it every day.
Yeah,
every day we've got the whole team using it.
Yeah, but it's great if you know how to use it properly. But that's like any tool set, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. If you just go to it and say, generate me a blog about my accountancy business, you're going to get a load of shit out.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't work.
Lots of emojis.
And lots of emojis, lots of M dashes,
But no, I'm kind of a huge fan, but I'm just kind of now into the research. Well, I'm seeing other things arrive that you can do with it, and I'm like, okay, so what does that mean? And I've watched it. I mean, one part of our business, as my CRM and Mapsmize, we had a software development team, and I say had, we don't anymore. Some of that was COVID, but one of our sort of activities, one of our services was very much people would come to us and say, "Can you prototype me an application, so then we can present it to get funding?" So fairly mid-sized business, large business, they'd say, "Hey, we want a search shop tool for our partners. Can you prototype it so we can show it and then we can get funding for it?" And that would usually, a piece like that, because it would have a database. It wasn't just screenshots. It was a functional application, not fully functional, but functional. And that would be 6 weeks work for a couple of people. We would charge 40 to 50,000 pounds for doing that. AI can now do that in about an hour. Write the code for it. It still needs a bit of understanding. It still needs a bit of tweaking. But it's not about now. It's about 12 months, 3 years, 5 years. That's what's going to happen.
And that's frightening to think of what it's going to be like in 5 years.
Yeah. Well, is it though? I mean, I'm one of these people that run at things. I was just like, oh, that looks new and shiny. If that's going to be my overlord, it's going to be my best friend.
Well, it's where it's going to be in 5 years as well. Because I mean, the internet when it was created was on computers. Yeah. Now it's not. It's in phones. It's in fridges. It's in everything you could possibly have. It's in Alexa boxes sat on your desk. So AI is going to exist in far more than just large language models on websites. It's going to be everywhere.
Oh, it is. Yeah, absolutely. And as I think it'll be Gen Alpha that picks that up and runs with it and says, this is what we can do. Whilst, the older generation, well, I don't say the older generations, because a lot of people like you and I have adopted it and gone, we understand tech. That came through the dot-com boom and go, this is the next big thing. We talk about kind of cryptocurrencies and NFTs and stuff. And I don't know what your take on that is, but I looked at it and went, that's a fad. Not crypto, but more the NFT.
NFTs, Yeah.
The sort of the technology used for it. I mean,
But
the
people
technology.
people made a lot of money selling them.
Yeah,
And people lost a lot of money buying
money.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The underlying technology is amazing, but the implementation it seemed to be a bit like, oh, well, that'll be gone in a year's time.
Mm.
And a lot of investors threw money at it, and the usual .com boom thing. But I think AI is a little bit different, and there's billions and billions of pounds being thrown at it. And there's I think was it Anthropic that's got to settle a 1.5 billion lawsuit? Was that the latest headline? I think early on when Anthropic they were training their model on books, and there's licensed books that you can do that. People that yes, you can use my book and I'll get some money. But there's also some websites that do ripped off copies of books.
Right.
And they had allegedly used some pirated information, and that's what the lawsuit is for. But I think if you do a quick search for Anthropic and lawsuit, it'll be about, I think it's 1.5 billion they've agreed to.
That's an astronomical sum of money for that.
Yeah, but how much money have these AI companies got?
How much money have they got? But or how much money are they making? Because I don't think they're making a hell of a lot at the moment.
No,
so not breaking even, are they?
No, .com businesses did they? In that first phase, and a lot of them didn't survive. I mean, I loved the .com boom because I was bouncing around sort of California and Seattle, because I worked for a big American company at the time, kind of integrating CRM systems. So it was a bit of a giggle. But yeah, there's a lot of those businesses just never came to anything. But now you see them. Now you see a business pop up like, dog food online, and you're like, I remember working for a .com startup back in sort of '99 that was dog food online, and everybody said, "Oh, that'll never work." As now it's like a massive. So, and this is what I mean by the 20-year lag of humans being lazy.
Yeah.
Not everybody adopts it, but eventually, if it's just there and it all works and it's normal. I mean, I remember I met one of. I said I worked for an American company, and I met someone very senior from Amazon, because we were having our Christmas all hands, and we shared the hotel with Amazon. So there was our software company and startup that Amazon was at the time, because they were still quite small and they were still selling books. I was talking to someone quite senior, and they said, "Oh, you should buy shares in Amazon." And I was like, "What? In a bookstore online?" I was like, that's never going to work. No one's really interested in buying books online. He went, no, it's going to be so much more. And I was like, yeah, I've heard it all before, because I'd worked with all of these. And by then I was pretty, blasé about the whole thing. And I think if I had invested that £5,000 in Amazon then, I would probably have about 500 million in shares by now.
Jesus.
But
I saw an old TV interview with Jeff Bezos last week, probably late 90s, early 2000 maybe, where he's being interviewed, and the interviewer, it was on an American talk show or some sort of show like that, and the interviewer was basically mocking him how Amazon was losing millions and millions of pounds a week or a day, whatever it was, and he just didn't care. He said, it's not about that. It's not about making the profit right now. But it was interesting to watch how he was being ridiculed on this show for having this company that was losing so much money. And now he's one of the richest people on the planet. If it wasn't for Elon Musk, he'd probably be the richest.
Yeah. And that's that it was having the vision at the time that this thing was going to, this internet thing was going to be huge. And I think you've got to look at AI and think, it's probably going to be 1,000 times bigger than the internet. This is industrial revolution type standards. This could change everything. It could completely change the way we live, work, buy products. Don't know.
What are your thoughts on the risks, though? Because everyone's thought it.
Yeah, I mean, there's risks with everything. There's risks with putting your data online. There's risks with the internet. Am I concerned that Terminator is going to come marching down the street and they create AI bots? Well, Musk is already working on the AI bots, isn't he? He's already
he's building it for them. Yeah, building it for them. They just need to control it.
Yeah. So yeah, I, is the human race destined to wipe itself out with its own advancements? Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Are we sleepwalking into our own destruction?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Probably.
But you and I have got no chance of changing it. So, lap it up and it's
No.
like to go on the roller coaster with them. I don't know. I think I'm too old now to kind of worry about, can we stop? You know,
Mm.
when we're still blowing stuff up and people are getting shot in the street, you can't stop this stuff.
Yeah. And we're teaching AI everything about us, and it's
Yeah,
learning that we're the ones doing all the damage in the world. It's
yeah,
it's not a stretch for it to go, I can see where the problem is.
yeah, absolutely. But and it's like, where do we get to? I mean, I think the only limitation with AI will be computing power. I think we'll hit a brick wall that it literally just can't. We don't have the hardware, and that was a bit like the dot-com boom as well. The
Well,
infrastructure,
isn't Google building quantum computers?
yeah, it's going to be quantum that solves the problem.
But
But
Google apparently has it working.
yeah, quantum does work,
Right.
but it's not. I mean, it's a bit like a Commodore VIC-20. It's conceptually it can work, and there is working prototypes of quantum computers, but it's going to be 20, maybe 30 years before that becomes mainstream, I would think, unless there's there's not much online about it, to be honest. But if there's a real push into that, then yeah, that's a different story.
That's the last piece of the puzzle to our own destruction.
I don't know. Maybe we'll actually find peace.
Yeah, because history has taught us that we're very close to that.
Yeah, I know. It's like we have like all of this separation, so we fight each other. But maybe AI is the uniforming factor. Maybe it is the overlord. Maybe it is like, right, you lot. Maybe we get implanted and that's it. It's like we're done. I don't know.
Sort of like Matrix. We're all used for batteries to power these quantum computers they're going to
need. Yeah, maybe something. Maybe we're already there. We don't know.
This is true.
We're slipping into sci-fi now, but
because I remember in the Matrix where it said right near the beginning that they picked the 1990s or the 1999 as the peak of civilization. Nothing advanced beyond that. I mean, everybody laughed. Peak of civilization, you're ridiculous. And yeah, I think it pretty much was. Yeah,
it's probably right. Yeah. But I don't know. I can't sort of say, oh, it's going to do this, it's going to do that. I'm a sort of a bystander researcher. I'm no specialist. I'm not I'm not one of these super gurus that is going to stand on the stage and says this is where AI is going. So I am a bystander of watching this happen, but I'm definitely running towards it to say, hey, this is amazing. And even when I started doing the music project, my kids were like, "Oh God, don't do that! It sounds terrible. It's like it sounds like AI. It sounds." I said, "Yeah, it's fine." And now they're like, "Oh, that actually sounds quite good." I mean, I showed my daughter the latest of the Vampire Project, and she was like, "I hate it because it's so good." Because there are bits of it that she goes, I can't really tell if that's not filmed. And I was like, yeah, maybe.
And you say that wasn't even VO3?
No, it wasn't. Oh. It wasn't VO3. Yeah, because VO3 is amazing, but it doesn't yet stitch together. So if you've ever used LTX, you know how it stitches everything for you in a frame and a scene. If you use VO3 with LTX, it just goes, hey, there you go. And you go like, that's not actually, where's my graveyard gone?
Yeah. It's difficult to get consistency with VO3 at the moment.
Yeah, but it'll come.
Although by the time this podcast goes out, it might have it. Who knows?
Yeah, it might have an update, yeah. But then there'll be a VO4 and a VO5 and so on and so on. But it's interesting that, OpenAI started with Sora, and that was going to be the video. That was going to be the video solution. And it seems to have kind of died a death. Is anyone using Sora?
I certainly don't.
I never got access to it. I just like everyone else is like, and maybe it is a Microsoft OpenAI saying, "Hey, you can do this now. Off you go." I mean, there was one piece of the OpenAI puzzle that it was in their blog. I don't think it's still up there, but they had done a voice for voice cloning, but not voice cloning as you and I know it, where AI copies your voice and tries to emulate it. They had literally taken your voice, broken it down into its binary sort of wave pattern, then replicated it, and whatever you gave it, it was you, and it was identical. But they never released it. They kind of said, "Yeah, we're not actually going to release this. This is just what it can do." So under the hood, what else can it do?
Well, 11 Labs has that, doesn't it?
Well, I think it's 11 Labs that is using it from OpenAI. Yeah, they've licensed it to 11 Labs, and it's quite expensive if you actually want to generate a proper cloned voice. It gets quite pricey, and that stops anybody just going, "I want to be Donald Trump."
Yeah. From people I've spoken to, it is pretty much perfect.
It is. Yeah.
You can basically record your own podcasts without bothering to speak. So why am I here? Why am I needed?
Yeah. Well, I was watching. There's a guy on YouTube that does a lot of music videos. Can't remember his name right now. He does a lot of analysis of music, and AI is one of his big things because he's like, don't underestimate where this is going. You know, try and ban it, but you've got no chance. This is out of the box now. You're going to have to kind of roll with it. And he was on a podcast, and the host said, "Yeah, I mean, you know, here's me. I used 11 Labs. Here's me." Right? They cut to a piece, and it was him doing a podcast, using his picture animated with a piece of video lip synced to his own voice. And he said, I no longer need to actually do anything. I can just create podcasts. And that's, it's will people watch an AI generated version? Will they know the difference?
Will they know the difference? That's the thing. I think right now they would, but again, in a year's time, maybe not. In 5 years, definitely not.
No. Yeah. And I don't know if you've ever used as kind of in the marketing side of, you've used Sky Ads.
I really want to get into that. I've gone all into about it. I've spoken to a lot of people about it. I've looked at the data. I'm just waiting for the right person to use that with. Yeah.
Right. So I know Martin. We talked about Martin. He's into that as well. I don't know if you mentioned that, but I think Sky are getting ready to assess and profile AI generated content to make sure it meets advertising guidelines.
Wow.
So they know it's coming, and if you think about it, if a small business can suddenly generate an advert worthy piece of film for a few £100, then their business grows hugely. I mean, I don't know what it costs to generate or to have an advert filmed with actors and actresses and in the traditional way.
Depending on budget, I think you're starting at about $3,000 and going up from there, depending on how many actors and how many locations you have.
Yeah, you're probably looking at $10,000. Yeah,
if you had somebody like named,
it
could be 50, 60, 100 grand.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so it's a lot of money. But if you could do that, and actors and known people license their face through AI, and you pay them $1,000 or whatever it is, then that changes the whole sort of landscape of what we actually do. And I'm a great believer that everything is pretty much fiction until it's proved to be science. And we're just extending fiction. I mean, someone commented on one of my TikToks for one of the pop stars the other day, went, "This is AI, bro." I commented, "Yeah, and Spider-Man's CGI." And it is.
Yeah.
It's like we live in this sort of technology ability. I mean, I know a lot of people have an idea of like how things are done. So they have a concept of the music industry that got a bunch of people in the studio with, musicians and guitars and pianos and whatever, and singing into a microphone, and that gets put onto a tape. But it's not how it works. These artists have, the Disney artists, they have lots of writers, they produce, they put it through a digital studio, and Sabrina Carpenter doesn't sound like that in real life, but makes millions of pounds. But people go, "Oh, I like that." Yeah, well, it's not really her. Yes, it is. Okay, it's her. It's definitely her. That's what she sounds like.
Yeah, it's not music. It is a money-making machine.
It
That's what
is.
it's for.
Yeah, this is. I am not a musician. This is about being a record company. AI music. It's not. It's a tool to generate an outcome.
We should probably talk briefly about one of your day jobs.
Yeah, maybe.
One of them ones that makes you money, seeing as we talked about making money.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I am earning from AI, and I find it very fascinating. The SaaS platform, we can, Mapsimize are probably the one that we focus on most because it's distributed in lots of data centers around. Well, I think we've got 3 data centers now: Europe, America, and one in sort of Asia. It's a SaaS-based mapping platform. Now, anybody who wants to buy, you can use Google Maps. It's okay, but if you want to do more, then you get into big money in buying a mapping solution. So we're in that sort of like £10 a user type thing. We've taken the mapping software and enhanced it, integrated it into software platforms, and it's self-service basically. People go on, they sign up, they use it, they pump data into it, they buy a connector, they stop using it, they say thank you very much, they come back again and use it. So it's a Stripe based piece of software that generates that people can use on their own accounts. We're still working on it. We've still got a couple of people working on the next version. There'll be a new version next year. We're going to integrate AI into it to give some data by location, of course, because there's some fascinating things that you can actually get AI to generate by location. And that will keep going. From the CRM point of view, our CRM platform, the My CRM platform, is very bespoke. We have some very complicated systems on there based on CRM, but they're not CRM as you and I know it. They're highly integrated. One is for kind of railways, one is for health. Up to recently, we had a big telecoms one that was job delivery management by location and data. So they're fairly chunky systems for people that last for 5-10 years through big investments. So we kind of host that through Rackspace. We maintain the platform, standard Microsoft stack, and it's good. We're not onboarding anybody new at the moment for from the CRM point of view, because I think I said at the start, lots of other solutions are now available, like Monday and all of the HubSpots and those kind of things. And it's not really worth the cost of hosting these type of applications is going up. Energy costs, green agenda costs, software licensing, all of that kind of stuff keeps going up and up and up. And we can't really keep it viable. It's still profitable, but the profit margin is becoming less and less because we're not big enough because we stuck in the very bespoke type space. And our original remit for that whole platform was we would work with these big clients. We would be an incubator. We would create their application. They would get to 100 users or 200 users or whatever it was, and then they would go off and build their own platform. We would build the platform for them. Off they went. So we've had some big clients that have gone off and done that. But I think we're at the end of the sort of journey with hosting that particular kind of technology, especially with the way the Mapsimize is growing, and the way that the AI piece. The AI piece should be kind of fully monetized within a 2-year window. So this time next year, As long as I don't get hacked again. We did get hacked,
Hmm.
and I lost 4 of the channels, which was
Damn.
heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But my own mistake, really. I'd left them all on one Google account, so don't do
Yeah.
that. But someone got into my Google account, deleted my channels.
Oh dear. So they're all on separate accounts now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then
Diversify.
yeah, and then they're managed by a separate account again. So the main account that I manage them all with is, and the passwords are so complex for the actual sub accounts, like 16 count. Good luck. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't kind of broadcast the email address for them or anything. So they're all kind of now locked down. But yeah, it's when you go from like 900 subscribers to 0, and you're like, yeah, that hurt.
I bet it did. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a learning lesson. But it's, business wise, it's growing. I still love technology. I've been doing it now for what, 30 years. Yeah, probably that 30 years next year. And I'll probably sit here till they take the office space off me. This is my creator space. So there are usually more people in, but I've got rid of them all today.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I've only got one in here today as well. He's very quiet, sat out there. Normally at this point, I ask, if anyone's listening to this, what's the best way of them getting in touch with you if they want to work with you? But you just said you don't want any more CRM clients.
Yeah.
So what kind of people would you like to get in touch with you? What sort of business are you looking for right now, and how can they contact you?
Yeah, I'm interested in people that are kind of like myself, that is working in the AI space, that are like trying to create things, that are going, yeah, AI can be used as a tool to create. Anyone that's kind of like in that kind of music space that says, hey, what is it you're actually doing? Obviously, from a Mapsimize point of view, you just go to mapsimize.com, sign up. It's self-managing. It's a brilliant piece of software. We did a really good job building that. It only took 6 years. It's like, but yeah, go to my LinkedIn, follow me on LinkedIn. You'll see the kind of stuff I create. The vampire stuff's up there. I know LinkedIn isn't for vampires and it isn't for music videos, but I really don't care.
I love that line. I know LinkedIn isn't for vampires. Well, we don't know that. There might be a lot of vampires on there.
Good, true. I've just not, the algorithm isn't just working the way I want it to at the moment. I'm not some people are kind of like very focused on how using something like social media, you've got to use it like this because this is the way the gurus say you've got to use it. And I'm like, yeah, whatever.
The LinkedIn police.
Yeah, the LinkedIn police. I usually get myself in trouble quite regularly.
You can't post that. This is not Facebook. This is not Instagram.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I can actually, because I just did. And the world didn't end. So yeah, people have got used to me now and just generally unfollowed me, I think. I think I'm down to about 22,000 followers or something.
Down to.
Yeah, it did. It was about 27,000, I think. I just suitably upset enough people. But the rest of them kind of get it, I think. So, or they're just not on LinkedIn anymore. But no, same with Facebook. I'm pretty thick-skinned. I've been through an awful lot. I kind of see life very differently because I had a major accident when I was 20. And because I never wanted to work in tech, I never wanted to work with computers. I always wanted to work in the theatre. So from you going to art school and film, my thing was theatre, but it was theatre lighting. I didn't want to be an actor. It was, I am just fascinated and in awe of the type of things you can create with light, and the color sequences and the stage presentation you can create with light. And that was my thing. That's what I wanted to do. And I had a friend. Well, it was more of a friend of my brother because he was about 6 or 7 years older. But he was on tour with Bon Jovi, and he was a lighting specialist for Bon Jovi on tour at the time. And I was like, I want to do that. That sounds like great fun. That's my thing. But I had to be an electrician first, and I fell off a ladder, and I shattered my pelvis and leg and other stuff that you should not meant to break. And the consultant stood over me as they wheeled me in from the ambulance, kind of assessed. Well, once I was in hospital, and he looked at me and he went, "You're really lucky to be alive." And I was like, really? Yeah. Most people don't survive this kind of accident. He said, make sure whatever you do is live your life, because you're not going to get another chance like this. And I was like, okay. I was only 20 at the time. So I've got I don't really stress about anything. I don't really kind of worry too much about anything. I just do. If I find something of interest, I do that. Because you've got to, you've got to accept the world around you, because it's actually a beautiful thing. I mean, not all humans are beautiful, but So, and I probably on that bombshell, we can go back to the studio.
Yes, I back to the studio. I think you've left us on a real upbeat note there. So, Alistair, thank you very much for being on the podcast.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. And I hope it goes well.
All right, cheers, mate. Thank you.